Hey crew, I've got the key to that 25 Honda Civic Si, and today we're gonna see what it's like to live with. Starting with the spacing in my driveway, which is 16 feet wide by 19.5 feet long. I've got the Civic parked kind of at an angle here with the front tire about a foot away from the edge of the driveway, sitting next to a new Mercedes-Benz G550 that both my wife and I are reviewing. If you want to check out her content, it's at Mobile Mama on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. The tires are hanging actually over the edge of the driveway, but if we presume to have moved the vehicles over a little bit, there still would be a lot of space between them, enough to walk through with a double stroller through for our kiddos. The nose of the Civic is back from the gutter at the front of the driveway, and that still leaves enough room to walk in front of the hedge on the path to my front door. When first hopping in with the key fob in my pocket, I can just put my hand on the front door handle. That'll unlock all four doors, and I'll wait until I'm in a parking lot parked next to someone else to show you the door opening space. For now, just gonna get into this cabin. I do have to crouch down a little bit, but it's not too far, and then closing up that door. Hello, cabin crew. Ooh, hello, Civic. Thank you for joining for this day in the life in the 25 Honda Civic Si. In this video, I'm not really questioning whether this car is fun to drive. That's a given. It's more about whether the comfort, the convenience, the practicality can match that and make it a great daily driver. Let's begin by firing it up. Hear that four-cylinder come on. And I'm going to turn on the defrosters to clear off some of this frost from overnight. And let's go listen to the idle from outside. As you might expect from a smaller, lower displacement engine, this is a really modest idle here, even for a cold start. It won't disturb anyone in your neighborhood, even if you've got an early start to your day. Oh, and I do have the curb ramp set up there for clearance, but the Civic Si is high enough that unless you're taking the curb very fast, really straight on, you won't have an issue with scraping. While the defrosters finish up here, I'll note that the seat heating did turn on immediately when I started this vehicle, it being so cold inside this cabin. I love that. I don't have to hit the button. I just know it's gonna start warming me up. Let me show you where I would stick the items I bring with me every day. Like my smartphone, which can go on this pad here. It's not a wireless charging pad, but at least it's sitting next to a couple USB-C ports, so it can still get charged up in that position. My sunglasses are sitting next to it, and my wallet can just go right on top. My 32-ounce water bottle didn't fit inside one of the cup holders, but it does fit inside this opening where the cup holders do go. Now, I would have to lift it up to access the center console, but when I do that, I find a deep cubby which fit my GoPro accessory case. So I think the storage inside this cabin is excellent. I haven't even touched the pretty large door pockets that are there. Okay, I think that's enough from the defrosters here. That was about 5 minutes of me sitting there with them doing their thing before I throw on my seatbelt now. Just gonna flick the windshield wipers once, head on into first, release the parking brake, and roll on forward and down over the curb ramps. And I'm easily going to clear my neighbor's 2 basketball hoops. Whew, these seat heaters work so well, and the HVAC control. I've already been able to take off my jacket, which is handy because now I'm wearing a shift pattern shirt that I can reference if I don't use the one that's right there in the gear selector. That doesn't make sense, Miles. Anyway, I am, of course, going to start my day with a cup of coffee. I will be doing that with Mobile Mama, but before I pick her up, I want to see about the around-town ability of this Civic Si. Things as simple as the turn signal sound, which is soft enough, both in volume and tone, that I could leave that on at a light for a while and not be disturbed. Now for the turning radius, the wheel is cranked, and I'm going to pivot around in a reasonably tight circle. Front-wheel drive vehicles, they don't have the tightest of turning radiuses. This one's not bad though. Okay, but now let's say someone cuts me off in the Civic Si and I want to make them hear about it. What are they going to hear? That's not an intimidating noise. That person who just aggravated you isn't going to feel like they did anything wrong. They think you're just laughing along with them. Cutting people off is fun. The fun you should actually be having should come from using the manual transmission. You bought a manual-only car for a reason, because you like that engagement point. And this is a very good gearbox. I'll start with the shape of the gear selector. The cylindrical design feels great in the hands, and the fact that there is a leather piece bisecting the metal top and bottom means there's at least a safe space to grab onto when it's very cold or very hot. You're not going to freeze or scald your hand, although if you incidentally touch the top or bottom, then that will happen. And the gearbox is really well designed. The throws are nice and short. The gates have a very clear notch when you enter into them and leave them. There's not a mystery as to whether you're in gear or not. The clutch pedal itself has a later release, but once you calibrate your brain to that, this is a simple transmission to use, and whether you are fresh to driving manuals or you've been doing it for a long time, it shouldn't take you that long to become very comfortable with it. In fact, my only gripe with the gearbox is actually not the transmission itself, it's the software behind it. If I wanted to turn on or off the rev match function, which I kind of leave on for around towning so I don't have to constantly heel toe rev match the downshifts. Anyway, you'd have to do that by stopping the vehicle, engaging the parking brake, then going into vehicle settings and then into the driving assistance features and then turning on or off rev match. That should just be a button, and I'm surprised it hasn't been updated with 25 and all those software changes. And this turbocharged 1.5 liter 4-cylinder is well suited to this transmission. I'm not constantly having to downshift to get into some torque. There's lots of low end torque available to me, so as long as you're above, I want to say like 2,500 RPM, you can put your foot in it and build up momentum in the mid-range, which is great for around town or on the highway. It's really an unenviable position as a vehicle engineer to have to create a manual transmission car that is both engaging and satisfying to drive, but isn't a pain in the butt. And Honda, they really pulled it off. All right, now let's grab Mobile Mama and get some coffee. Would you look who it is? A slightly sick version of a Mobile Mama.
You're making me film when I'm sick.
Yeah, I am. And thank you.
I like that you're just so on brand. You've got this going on.
Yeah, I just did realize though that
Si.
this is a 7-speed shift pattern. This is only a 6-speed.
Ooh.
It's not a Porsche 911 that I'm driving right now.
That's all right.
Civic Si. And because it's a Civic Si, I want to get your thoughts on the cabin. You know, like just keep the expectations at Civic.
They are at Civic, and yes, I like all the details. It's got a lot of sporty details.
It does.
And textures going on.
I mean, even putting like the red accents around the airbags. Yeah, oh, it says fun.
It says fun.
Yeah. And it's not just like a normal like fire engine red, like this is a deep red.
I like this red.
The red is almost of the same color as your leggings.
Wow.
Yeah.
I planned that.
Well, she's driving a Civic, isn't it?
Oh.
No, just a regular Civic, but it might be a sport. It is a sport. Look at that. It is a sport.
Did she wave?
No, she just looked at it. She was like, oh, that looks like a...
She might want to upgrade.
Yeah, or she saw the camera on my head. There's one of the two things that always happens.
Probably that.
Yeah, the seats are heated, so that's a nice thing. That's standard now for 25. And they're very comfortable, right?
Yeah, I like them.
Yeah, I like the padding. It's really...
Whoa!
Whoa! Hey there. Manual adjusting for you and for me, which I don't mind for this price point, which is, what do you think?
Looks roomy. I'm going to go with 34, Bob.
Ooh, hey, Bob. You're overshooting it. It's actually 31.8.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to call it a deal right there.
Honestly, at that price, I feel even more smitten with this cabin.
I'm actually excited about it.
They didn't cheap out with gloss black everywhere. It's just kind of in places you're not going to touch.
Yeah.
This is actually textured. They tried, and it's spacious.
It is.
I've got headroom.
I slid back, but I'm like, oh, I could see that car seats would be fine in here too.
Yeah, well, we're going to find out soon enough. And my driving position at 6 feet is excellent. The tilt and telescope of the wheel brings it out to the perfect spot for me.
These are fun too.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how you're supposed to use them.
I also like that you get this moonroof.
Yes.
Or sunroof. We really need to know if it's a moonroof.
I think moonroof opens, sunroof doesn't. Do you guys know? I can't remember the technical difference, but yeah, it's a glass roof
should know. We're the experts.
Can actually open. I know we're the experts, but I don't need to be an expert in sunroof versus moonroof.
True.
They're bigger fish to fry. And I like this infotainment. The update they made for 25, now it's got that Google Assistant, and it's quicker. The resolution is high. It's not the brightest of screens, but it's still easy to find everything you want to, except for rev match, as I mentioned earlier. And I like that they retain the physical volume knob and some physical hotkeys here, including Seek. So it's not as distracting, as is
and
the
physical controls for your alignment.
Yeah, they're nice to operate, huh?
Yeah, I like it. Oh,
Very
click,
satisfying
click.
Clickety-doo-dah. Clickety-doo-dah, clickety-yay. My, oh my, what a clickety-day. Plenty of clicking my way. Oh, we deviated there. Yeah, you didn't follow the script. Clickety-doo-dog. Hey, pup.
Hey.
And if I look at the analytics for this video after it publishes, that's right when people drop off. Right when we start to sing.
Not surprised.
Yeah. Here's a question. Is it too bumpy? I don't think so.
No.
I thought it was pretty
Not
good.
bad, yeah.
Not bad over those bumps. We have arrived at Raised by Lions Coffee. It's one of our favorites close by. Great staff, super friendly. Let's back up into this parking space.
Because you got to be that guy.
I gotta be that guy. Even if I'm not in a truck, gotta be that guy. The backup camera, it's not the highest resolution. It does have trajectory lines for me though. This is the only camera angle I have to use. But you know what? I can use those door mirrors. The old school, no proximity sensors. So I just have to know with my eyes that I'm close enough. All right, let's get some Java. Oh, and I can show you the door opening space, parked next to someone else. It's actually almost as much as with the G550, but that was one notch here, and I could still get in and out. 2 notches, well, that's so much nicer. All right, we got our lattes.
Cheers.
Mine being decaf, of
Boring.
course. It's not. And we both have vanilla cold foam on top.
Which we should give up for 2025.
We like to treat ourselves, so we're doing that today. We don't have time to dawdle with the outside seating though, because we're
Gotta get to Costco.
Costco, because we have to get party supplies for our daughter's birthday.
For our little Nina.
Yeah, it's happening.
Big.
She's getting so big.
I
It's
don't
not
like
okay.
it.
She needs to. We've had a talk. I've sat her down. I said,
Yeah.
this is not acceptable. You need to slow down.
But she wants to drive.
Okay, that's fine. We have arrived at Costco. Are you ready?
No.
Oh, well, you don't sound ready at all.
I
Are
don't
you getting
have the
worse
energy.
actively while
Yes.
sitting next to me?
Yes.
We need to gear it up, because Costco, you got to have your game face on. Wow. We really went for it.
Yeah. I've never done a Costco haul with you, but this is a lot.
I mean, it's not always this intense.
No, because we're having a birthday.
Parking's hard, right?
Oh, for him.
At least he parked away from everyone else.
He
That
did
was,
everyone a favor.
that was courteous. Is this all going to fit in the Civic Si trunk? That's what we have to find. Oh, it's a pretty big trunk.
It is big. But I don't know. You're the master of this, so let's see what
I will
happens.
Tetris my best, and if we have to, we'll pull on these latches and lower the seats. I want to be humble about this.
You
I
don't
really
have
do.
to be, because it was really impressive.
Thank you. I worked hard at this.
But I think it was because I was here to support you and cheer you on.
You were motivating for sure, but this is my best stack job yet. I think I got everything in, provided the paper towels fit. Ooh, is that an S? No, that's a Touring. GT3, no, it's an ST. It is an ST. That is a rare bird. I think he can park too. Very nice spec.
Oh, thank you.
Seriously spectacular. Fjord green. Anyway, back to the paper towels. I think this is gonna work. Okay, let's see.
Ooh, it fits.
It fits. We got a mobile mama. It fits. Oh,
Oh
the
no,
tortilla
the chips.
Holy chips.
I'll just hold them.
You're gonna have to hold these. After putting my cart away, like a responsible adult, we can confirm, because I've got a witness now.
Yeah.
The Civic Si is Costco
Family
approved.
approved.
It's Costco approved.
We usually say family approved.
But
though.
you're in the Costco. This is the Costco segment. It's her first time. It's her first time. The Civic Si is Costco approved. Got it?
And
That's good.
I have the Lord's chips.
The Lord's chips.
Yes.
And I didn't say it, but I didn't fold down the rear seats at all for that. So that means we could have done that whole thing, all that stuff, with car seats installed. And in just 15 minutes, we got this room that had nothing in it, ready for a unicorn-themed birthday. Let's party. Yesterday we confirmed the Civic practicality, but today we must confirm the SI performance. I'm gonna start with a real-world 0 to 60 test. I've got my race box set up here to record. I'm in the sport drive mode. I've got traction control switched off. Now I'm gonna head into first gear, rev it out a little bit, get off the clutch. Down into first gear, down into second rather. I do have to go to third to get to 60 in 7.49 seconds. You may not set records, but you will initiate smiles. And that's before you even get the SI onto a good road, where this turbo 1.5 liter 4-cylinder can be most effective getting power to those front tires, which are equipped with the optional Goodyear Eagle F1 summer rubber. And you don't waste any of the precious 201 horsepower and 192 pound-feet of torque through the curves, because there is a limited slip differential up there to shuttle power to the outside tire and help the SI bend through curves rather than become subject to understeer. But what's really giving me joy right now, the most joy, is this car's steering. It's light but direct and has purpose to the way you move the wheel. It communicates the grip threshold perfectly just off center, and really just makes this car come alive. And with the rev match feature turned off, you can even get in some good heel toe practice. Oh, and one thing to keep in mind, if that Canyon Run is on the longer end, be aware of heat soak of the brakes. I could feel my stopping distances growing, and I paused for a moment to actually have to switch off the rev match, and the brakes were smoking. On my way back home, I will be on the highway for a little while, so we can see about things like passing power, which I kind of already know to be solid. So you have the confidence, if you see a gap, you just make 1 or 2 moves, then you can do so. Oh, nice M2 comp. And when you've achieved your desired velocity, you could quiet up and listen to how loud this cabin is at these speeds. Well, on this louder road surface, yeah, I get some tire hum. It's not terrible though. Wind noise, I do hear that. But given the $30,000 price point, this is all well within the realm of mainstream compact car, and I would argue it's actually on the better end of this price territory. If you have fellow passengers, you don't need to shout for them to hear you. But if you wanted to listen to the sound system, this Bose sound system that is standard with the Civic Si, what would that sound like here on the highway? I do have the wireless Apple CarPlay queued up, so with just a couple button presses, I can get the sound going. Build up the volume. Not sure at what level I'm at out of the peak total, but this is good for me. I'm really pleased with that. For one, it had plenty of punch. It was an immersive sound as well. The range is slightly limited, a little bit of distortion at the higher frequencies, but it'll absolutely block out the outside volume, and unless you're a hardcore audiophile, you'll be really happy with this. If you plan on using the Si as a commuter vehicle, compared to an automatic one, you will have more work, especially in traffic, engaging and disengaging the clutch and working the gear selector, but at least you'll have the same driving assistance features, things like adaptive cruise control and steering assistance. So it's not a hands-free system. I'm just going to demonstrate briefly. If I take my hands off the wheel, it'll stay in the center of the lane, even on a curve. This is, of course, great if you're moving at pace. If it's in stop-and-go traffic, the adaptive cruise control won't really help you all that much. You're still gonna have to clutch in and clutch out. I think it's a good time to put some fuel back in this 12.4 gallon tank. The EPA rates the Civic Si at 27 mpg in the city, 37 on the highway, and 31 combined. If I saw that 31 combined, I'd have a fuel range of 384 miles, but I've been seeing just 24 miles per gallon. And at current fuel prices of $4.15 for 91 octane gas that the Si does require, it's gonna cost me, capless fueling, $51 to fill this tank. I am hungry now, so I'm gonna stop in here at Mendocino Farms for a sandwich or maybe a salad. And look who I ran. You talking bad about me already?
I mean, you do wear your camera in public places.
Yeah, why?
It is
Why not?
a little weird.
Yeah, it's a little weird. but that's okay. It's my identity. Anyway, I ran into Mobile Mama and Molly, who's part of the MilesPerHr and Mobile Mama teams, after they were just finishing filming the Rezvani Vengeance. That'll show up on your channels soon here. But now we're having Mendocino Farms. This is yours, but now it's mine. All of this is mine. You guys can eat nothing. Enjoy. Wow. Have a great day. I didn't really steal their lunches, okay? I'm not cruel. Anyway, the Civic Si has but one more test to pass in the midst of daily life. That is to see whether it is family or friends friendly. So I'm behind my own seat at 6 feet tall, and I have knee room here. The foot pockets are nice and large. I've got a good bit of thigh support. My head does clear the roof. I can make it back to that headrest, and it's just grazing against the headliner. The problem is, I don't have much of anything back here. I've got power windows. They're not one touch. And no air vents, no USB ports. I have one map pocket on the passenger side and an armrest that comes down with cup holders. So adults can clearly fit back here, but they won't have much to entertain them. What about kids in car seats? Well, I've got 2 sets of lower latch anchors, 3 top tethers. I'm gonna put this forward-facing car seat behind my driver's seat, and the doors do open nice and wide to get this in here easily. Now for the rear-facing car seat. Simple enough. When you remove the fabric cover, the latch points are nicely exposed. The only point for the forward-facing car seat install is that because the headrests don't adjust, I had to go over it with the belt to cinch down the top tether. And for passengers ahead of the rear-facing car seat, my legroom is solid with a bit of a bend in the knee, and the back angle isn't quite as far back as I would like, but still, the Civic Si is clearly family approved. But the real verdict needs to come from someone else. Talia, what do you think about this car?
I love it.
You love it? What do you love about it?
That we can step in it easy.
That you could step in it easy, yes, because it's nice and low down. It's not like an SUV where you gotta climb in. This you just get to walk in, huh?
But I want to climb it because I'm big.
I understand that, but now Romy can get in easy, right, Romy? Yes, she says yes. Okay, so that is one big plus to a sedan compared to an SUV. It's easy for the kids to get in. And you can even close the door yourself, can't you?
Yeah.
Yes, all by yourself. Talia did just ask me if she could climb around the car, and that is one downside to having something with fabric seats. It is a little tougher to clean than something with leather or even leatherette. Talia, did you realize that this is a fun car to drive?
No.
No? So you can do blasts off in this car. Do you want to blast off?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1, blast off. Whee! Romy says, whee! Well, crew, at the beginning of this video, I pondered if the 25 Civic Si had livability to match its performance. And after quality time spent behind the wheel, I am fully convinced this sport compact can really do it all. A spacious cabin and trunk accommodate large loads and full-size adults. Comfortable seats, and for $30,000, a quiet and well-dampened ride keep you at ease. And a stylish, quality cabin with intuitive technology introduces a pride of ownership. I'd only complain about the lack of rear passenger features and the merely adequate real-world fuel economy. But that's all before you take it out for a spirited drive. I hope you guys have enjoyed this day in the life, and I will see you again next time.